All right, guys, welcome back to the Kodiak Broncos Podcast. I'm the Kodiak, and there's been a lot of news regarding the Broncos in the past week or so. So instead of making an individual video about all these topics, I just figured I'd condense it into one. So I just want to mention a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You know, I always wait until the end. Hopefully, I'll have earned it. My goal, 1,000 subscribers by week 1 of the 2025 season. So by the time the Broncos kick off week 1 of 2025, I'm trying to have 1,000 subscribers. Do you think I can get there? Be really cool if you guys supported me in that. But my common question of the day is Ashton Jeanty or Tyler Warren. If they are both available at number 20 when the Broncos pick this upcoming year, which one would you like them to draft and why? Follow me on Twitter if you like what I have to say on here at Kodiak Broncos. Let's dive right into it. So before we talk about anything else, you should just know that you should never take anything 104.3 says with any substance whatsoever. Cecil Lammey had reportedly said that he had inside connections to Gronk and that he was training in Vail or whatever. And Gronk said, no, I'm not in Vail. I'm in Australia. And he was like, Cecil Lammey also mentioned about him, potentially wanting to play with Bo Nix because he was impressed by what he saw his rookie year, wanting to play for Sean Payton because they had a relationship because they both worked in Fox Sports 2 years ago. But Rob Gronkowski says he was just in Australia for a few days and he's going to chill for a little bit. Know that football's not at the forefront of his mind right now. So, alleviating from that nonsense, here are some main Sean Payton and George Paton things that they have said over the past few weeks. So, regarding Sean Payton, this was actually not in his combine interview, but he said that the Broncos wide receivers were stronger than some think, and we've kind of held him to that over the past few weeks. A lot of the Broncos talk has gotten pretty far away from the wide receiver position, except for potentially bringing in a veteran, but he did say that on the Kay Adams show. Now, regarding the combine interviews, so Sean Payton, in the Kay Adams interview, said that they need a joker. He said that they need a guy, whether it's a tight end or a running back, who can attack in between the hashes. And just based on what we know, Sean Payton alluded to this, and he kind of doubled down last week. And you'll see that with the upcoming combine interviews that they were not messing around, that this is priority. It seems like this is priority 1, 2, and 3 for the Broncos this upcoming year. And who the joker is, I'm not entirely sure, and I don't really care. I just want it to be a guy who can extend drives. I want it to be a guy who gives us a higher floor on offense and somebody who we can reliably go to on third down. I just want the joker to have all those traits. Don't really have a preference on who it is, but yeah. So, also, George Paton is meeting with Courtland Sutton's agent this upcoming week. We could shrink Courtland Sutton's We could shorten Courtland Sutton's cap number if we do work out an extension, but I know a lot of people have been on the trade him, wave. If the Broncos can get, a round 3 pick, then, they should ship him off. The optics of getting rid of him when you're entering your contending window would just be so bad. The Drew Sanders edge experiment seems to be over. It seems to be strictly inside linebacker, at least for now. I know he's gone through 80 position changes, but seems like he'll be working at inside linebacker this upcoming year. And just a bonus, this will be his first full offseason since his rookie year. Now, George Paton said that there is a chance we bring Javonte back. And the reason I'm not buying it is because he said, well, he's one of the best pass protecting backs in the league, but this class is so strong, it's like a pick your flavor draft. And I was like, all right, so Javonte's not coming back. I think, George Paton just said all that because he wanted to hype him up before he entered the open market. Once again, mile high salute to you, Javonte Williams. You've done all the right things here, but please move on. So the Broncos, talking about something you really care about, they have met with a lot of tight end prospects. They've met with them over the course of the combine. They met with them at the Shrine Bowl, guys who are not mentioned here as well, but I think Gadsden is one of them. But the guys they did talk to at the combine, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, Gunnar Helm, Terrence Ferguson, and Elijah Royal. These are 5 tight ends that the Broncos, were meeting with at the combine. So, just going based off what we know, they would not be doing this if they felt comfortable with the guys in the room, if they felt comfortable with the guys in free agency being a solution. They are going to draft someone. I don't know when, I don't know where, but the Broncos are drafting someone. Whether or not they're brought in as a third-round pick to have a big role, or maybe they dip into the Warren or Loveland in round 1 sort of thing. Maybe. That's all a distinct possibility for the Denver Broncos. Now, here are some other players who the Broncos either have or will meet with. So should take this with a grain of salt because this is what we know now. As the running backs, the quarterbacks, the wideouts, also offensive linemen and secondary players will be there this upcoming later this upcoming week. But the D-line and linebackers are testing today. But as far as the D-line and linebackers, Kenneth Grant and Walter Nolan were confirmed to have interviews with the Broncos. Ashton Jeanty as well is on the short list of guys that the Broncos are going to be interviewing with. So on the veteran free agency front, you can basically cross Deebo Samuel off the list. And once again, I've been saying that he never made sense from the start. He just really didn't fit the vision of this football team. Didn't really fit exactly what we had needed at the time or what we have needed over the course of this whole free agency cycle. But, two well-connected guys, Chris Thomason and, I hope I'm saying that right, Thomason, from the Denver Gazette and Zach Stevens have both said that the Broncos are not expected to pursue Deebo Samuel. Albright said that as well. But yeah, so backup quarterback. It just says that the Broncos are working to secure their backup QB for the 2025 season, and this is notable because both Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson are UFAs, and Zach Kilberman said 2 hours ago that, yeah, they're just basically looking to get it done, and whether it's Stidham or Wilson or a guy not currently on the roster, I did think that this was notable. I did think that this was worth mentioning because the Broncos ultimately only have one quarterback under contract for next year at this current juncture. So I would like it to be Zach Wilson. I think he provides a nice amount of floor and ceiling play. And just remember that 2 years ago in the NFL, that was pegged as the year of the backup. So I mean, you can only go as far as your backup will take you, but I think Zach Wilson provides a nice combination of floor and ceiling. Plus, if Bo Nix has to miss time for whatever reason, we're probably not going anywhere to begin with. So why not take the fun dice roll in Zach Wilson? So around the NFL, I just thought that this was worth mentioning. So here's two things. Mike Florio told 105.3, I bet you're not used to seeing that, 105.3, that the Cowboys have tried to trade up with the Tennessee Titans for the number 1 overall pick, or at least they have reached out. So there is some guy on their board that is a possibility, whether it's Carter, even though I know he just had the foot surgery, but whether it's Shadur, whether it's Cam Ward, I thought that was very interesting, and I thought that was very notable. Now, one thing that does affect us, because it's in the division, Stafford to the Raiders just feels like it's getting way, way, way too much team to not be a real thing. I know that we kind of had that thing with Ben Johnson not too long ago where everyone was like, oh my God, this is a given. But I think things feel differently around Matthew Stafford because Matthew Stafford going anywhere else except the Raiders of all the other landing spots, I don't see a lot that make a whole lot of sense. And apparently, Tom Brady and him ran into each other at a ski resort because they were trying to avoid a tampering charge or fine. And apparently, Brady is heavily recruiting him. And this matters a lot. This matters because Stafford and Pete Carroll definitely raises the floor of that team. Once again, I'm not saying, 8-9 wins, playoff run or anything like that because they have way too much to work on before that becomes a realistic possibility. But Stafford has shown that he can elevate pretty bad teams, and same with Carroll. So if you put the two of them together, I'm kind of scared, especially because they'd be throwing to Brock Bowers. So yeah, I just thought that was worth mentioning as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Mahai salute.